Good night, everybody. Good evening, everybody, actually. I've been looking at these new updates, actually. Odd enough, in the iPhone. I was wondering if I was recording or not, because I hit the record button, but the music kept playing. And yeah. It looks like with the new update, iOS 18 or whatever, it includes that. Apparently you're able to record even though you still listen to some music. Strange thing, but yeah. So, talking about strange things. Something that I've realized myself quite recently is to actually embody everything that you want to become through yourself. Don't just, be a misrepresentation of something, but actually become who you want to be. And that comes to part a lot with the habits that a person, which looks how you would like to look, would have. Definitely. There's a whole ass trail related to it. So basically, a lot of the worries, and I'm very guilty of this. Here's the thing, I just forgot the reason why I was going out with my thoughts. It's because I just remembered that I forgot to bring an extra piece of clothing. It really doesn't matter that much, but it was just I was debating whether or not I should go back to get it. And I'm like, oh my god, I need it, and I'm getting this bummer, like I want to, use it today, but honestly, there is not a lot of difference. So basically, all these worries, all these little things that get thrown at you, we always love to give problems or situations a higher importance than the one it deserves. Like, here's the thing, you gotta be honest to yourself. You gotta be clear to yourself and to everybody in your surroundings. People are distrustful of you because you're not clear with your intentions. You are not communicative or able to transmit everything that's in here through communication so that that other person can also see it in their mind. That is the thing. We don't yet have the technology to do that. And I very much hope, I just wish there was a thing, that we never reached that level of technology. Because if we reached that, speech wouldn't really be necessary. And I just feel like it would completely dehumanize how we are. I just feel like we are moving forward with advancements and different sort of avenues in science, progress and such. And we're little by little losing our own humanity in the sake of science. We are seeing a lot of this in behaviors and what is getting pushed to us by certain types of people with certain types of interests, of completely annihilating our sense of pride for our nation, our sense of pride for our race, our sense of complete identity, of nationality too, of being proud of where you're born. God forbid you celebrated that. That'll be like a complete prohibition for them. And what I mostly worry about all this is that all this stuff is coming out of the blue to affect our daily lives. If we lose that identity, who we are no longer something. We are just a generality. We are just like, a number, basically. A lot of the reasons why people also go into entrepreneurship, me myself included, is because we don't like to be seen just as a number. We like to be seen as a person and work with like-minded people. That is something that I definitely don't want to lose. I hate the idea of getting washed down as just a citizen of the world. It's crazy because now that I say it, it sounds like such crazy concept. But looking forward, where I was some years ago, I was so prideful and deeply bought into this concept of globalism and how we should just become one society and forget about nationalities and whatever, It's crazy. It's truly crazy. The sort of effect that having an impressionable mind does to you. And not a lot of it, but everything ends up being one's fault. Like, I could be coming here talking about how universities affect how they try to brainwash students, how they try to perpetuate a continuum of certain dialects that are being exposed to, again, young impressionable minds that perceive them as a high status professor, a high status teacher for a more accomplished future. A lot of times people go into university thinking that university professors are the last big thing, and that they know everything, and they are just this all-knowing figure. When in reality, my dad used to have this saying. Because I remember I once came to him telling him how I thought this university professors were so smart, and and they were they had this knowledge, superior knowledge, and then this guy was so impressive. My dad already went through that. He already knew that all those university professors that you more than likely get admiration for as a young impressionable mind are nothing but just parrots that repeat over and over and over and over again certain subject that they're teaching. They get paid for that. They get years of experience for that. Those years of experience and groundwork, at least provides some higher sense of achievement compared to just repeating a course over and over again like a parrot. That ends up giving them prestige, which gives them political influence, which ends up having them as how do you call it in English? Basically like the director of a certain subsection of the university. Let's say a certain career like arts, or engineering, industrial engineering director, basically. So they end up getting into those positions, and sure, that is a lot more of an achievement, but there's a lot of professors that people just see as young impressionable minds that try to push a dialect that is much different, a dialect that is much different than the usual one that we're used to, or the ones that one of the values that we a lot of times hold ourselves, and they end up changing our thoughts, altering our thoughts bit by bit. This doesn't happen overnight. Again, Rome wasn't built in one day, but slowly, with the wear and tear, that does become a significant change that ends up affecting the minds of people and affecting how it shapes their political preferences, and therefore how they vote. And how they vote affects leaders that govern their countries, leaders which are able to make choices in their own interest and own political interest too, which ends up affecting people. So yeah, it's very dangerous. It's a very dangerous situation. That again, sure, they are accomplices of that, but in the end, it's just me being a young impressionable man getting bought into those ideas and not having a sense of self that would otherwise prevent that from happening. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys have a good one.